Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I decided that I'm going to do a video on what kind of resources are available to you if you want to learn Korean at home. In this video I'll focus on resources that I've been using myself, so there'll be a lot of resources that you would have heard of that I'm not going to mention just because they're mentioned enough on YouTube. Instead I'm going to focus on resources that I think aren't mentioned that much. So I've been learning Korean for just over a year. I think it was April last year that I began learning, or maybe just before that. And I got into quite a good routine for learning Korean. I had my classes on Saturday, I had a tutor on Fridays, I had an online tutor on Wednesdays, and I tried to visit Korea whenever I could. Obviously, once coronavirus hit and once lockdown begun, it meant that I was stuck at home and the majority of my usual methods just weren't really available to me anymore. So in this video, I'll share how I've managed to continue learning Korean online. So the first resource is of course the more formal style of learning, which is online classes or tutorials. So I was quite lucky that the classes I was involved in before were able to be moved online, and likewise my tutor that I was seeing before was able to continue tutoring me online. But if you're not already involved in a class, that's fine. A lot of the universities that usually do like summer courses for learning Korean in Korea, I've moved their classes online. So if you have the disposable income to be able to like pay for some of those, there are some really good courses online. So if you look at like Seoul National University, Sejong University, Iwa, I think it's pronounced, Iwa University, they all have their like usual summer courses been moved online. So you can participate in that from your hometown, whether it's UK or somewhere else in Europe. The other method is through tutoring. So I use italki at the moment. On italki you get to like find lots of native teachers, qualified and unqualified, to teach you Korean. It's quite affordable, I don't think it's that bad. I currently pay £20 for an hour session, which is a lot cheaper than tutoring in like maths, for example, where it would be £50 for an hour. So I think like if you prefer a more formal style of teaching where someone's guiding you through things, then either the online classes or tutoring through italki is a good option, and both have worked quite well for me. The second resource I'm going to share with you today is the KCC UK website. So I know the KCC UK website has recently released an article about Hangul and about different resources you can use to learn Hangul, which is the Korean alphabet. So that article on Hangul can be a really good starting place. The third resource I'm going to mention is the Sejong hakdang workbooks and website. The reason I really like the Sejong hakdang website is because I use their books to study Korean. So these are the books I've chosen to use as like a formal guide through the different levels of Korean. And the website basically offers a workbook, CDs, and even this book online. So all the resources are completely free. So it's a really good starting point for learning Korean, and a really good long-term resource for learning Korean as well. I think if you're going to be doing like independent study and you find that having like really structured chapters and exercises is useful, then this book is something I would recommend, and that website goes alongside it. I can't link the workbooks because you have to like kind of go through the website to find them, but if you get stuck, just leave a comment below and I'll show you how to get there. The fourth resource I'm going to share, and in all honesty, before lockdown I didn't really use it, is Reddit. So on Reddit you've got both a Hangul and a Korean subreddit, and they're quite good because the Korean one, you'll find a lot of other people who are learning Korean like you and who are on various levels. So everyone from beginner to like intermediate to native. And you also get a lot of random posts by people, just like random grammar things they've learned that you might not have covered yet, but it would be quite good to know. So I found that the subreddit Korean has been really helpful for just like random bits of grammar that I otherwise wouldn't have picked up on. The second subreddit I mentioned was Hangul. That subreddit is better if you're starting to get to a more like intermediate / like higher level of Korean, because that subreddit is dedicated to only writing in Hangul. And I still struggle with it. I can't really understand most of it, but occasionally I'll find a post that someone's made and I actually understand what they've said, and that's just been quite a good way to just force myself to stay alert and stay in touch with reading Hangul and reading Korean. Okay, the fifth resource I'm going to mention is live streamers on Twitch, on YouTube, and so on. There are so many. I'm just going to mention two that I've been personally looking at. The first one is of course Talk to Me in Korean. They've been quite nice and have been doing like live stream classes since lockdown begun. And I think if you're not taking advantage of that already, like you should take advantage of it, because it's just free lessons and quite well structured lessons as well. The second live streamers I want to mention are two Korean teachers on Twitch. So they, once again, just like, I'm pretty sure as soon as lockdown started, they started live streaming lessons, and they have lessons for beginners, lessons for intermediates, and so on. So that's the second really good live streaming resource. If you want the experience of being in a class or being tutored but you don't necessarily want to pay for it, those two are really good options to have that still slightly more personal experience than like learning from a textbook by yourself. Okay, so then the sixth resource and penultimate resource I'm going to mention is of course books. So I personally use these two books. So the first one I used, as I mentioned, was the Sejong hakdang books. And I'm currently on book 3, which is still, I think, elementary. It's still quite beginner. And I'm also reviewing book 1 and 2 at the same time. I really like these books just because, one, the classes you can get in the UK through the Sejong Institute are super, super cheap. And they use this book to study, and it just means that you've got like £100 classes. You get a free textbook, and they're actually like very sufficient for learning Korean. So currently, this is my main source of learning. And then on top of that, I've got this book, so the Korean Grammar and Use Beginner. I really like this book because for me, it's almost like a dictionary for grammar. This is what I use alongside that. So if the Sejong Hakdang book doesn't go that in depth in something, or if it repeats a grammar but of a different definition and I want to see the different definitions all on one page, then I'll go for this book. This book gives you a high level view into just all the different grammars that are available to you as a beginner in Korean. They've also got an intermediate one, which I've also got, but I haven't opened yet, and I'm kind of scared to because this book is quite thick. And if the grammar, like for beginner, is this thick, I don't really want to look at the intermediate grammar yet. But this is a really good book. Those are the only two books I use. I did buy a lot more books. I've bought the Talk to Me in Korean books. I've tried the Seoul National University. They have their own textbooks as well. I've tried quite a lot of different textbooks, and in all honesty, those two are the only ones I actually reach for on a day-to-day. And then also the workbook I print off from the Sejong Hakdang website, which I can quickly show you. So those two books are the only books I use, and then I also print off the workbook, which kind of goes with that textbook, but you can use it on its own as well. I print this off for free from the Sejong Hakdang website, so that's like super useful. And last but not least, the last resource I wanted to mention is of course mobile apps. So I've tried a lot of mobile apps. I've tried the mobile app that goes along with the Sejong Hakdang book. I think they've got like a Nuri Hakdang, something like that app, which didn't really stick with me. To memorize, I've tried, I don't know, countlessly many. Drops is another one. And the only three that have kind of stuck with me are, I'm just reading them from my phone because it's easier. So the first one's Anki app. So Anki is what I use for my flashcards. I quite like Anki because you can download other people's flashcards if they've like shared them. So for example, you can find a whole deck for like topic 1 vocabulary, which is super useful. But on top of that, you can create your own decks. So I create a deck for each of the Sejong Hakdang books. It just means that like as I'm studying the books and as I'm doing the workbooks, I can also just be doing the flashcards to memorize it. And the cool thing about the flashcards is that it grades you on like how many of them you've remembered. So like you can kind of see like how bad I am and how inconsistent I am with them. And it's nice because when I do these flashcards, I can see that I'm actually getting better. And if I take a break of say 3 months and I come back to it and I try and do the flashcards and I see my grade drop, it just gives me that kickstart I need to like actually keep reviewing the vocabulary. So it's pretty cool. I like Anki app. The second app I use is Eggbun. Eggbun, I'm not necessarily in love with it, but I quite like Eggbun because it has like some random culture notes in it. It's really cool because it teaches you like the meaning behind different things you're learning and traditional stuff that you don't necessarily get from other apps. Like Duolingo doesn't really teach you anything about the culture, from my understanding. Anki app, of course, doesn't teach you anything about the culture. Sejong Hakdang books just does teach you quite a lot, but this kind of complements that even more, teaches you even more about Korean culture. So that's really cool. The last and final app, very like classic app, is Papago. So Papago is a translation app for Korean to English. I think it does other languages too, but I only use it for Korean and English. The reason I really like Papago is because I'm pretty sure it's a Korean company, Korean app, and what that means is that you just get a lot more like accurate translations compared to Google Translate. So if you do need to like just check something, look something up that you can't find it very easily, then Papago is a really, really good one. On that note, actually, that just reminded me that the one final app I will mention, I don't have it on my phone anymore, but I do go on the website quite a lot, is Hello Native. So similar to Papago, Hello Native is a really good way just to quickly look up a phrase or quickly find a colloquial way or a more formal way of saying something. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's giving you enough resources to play around with to try and learn Korean. And if you're not learning Korean, I hope you enjoy the video anyway. Thanks very much and enjoy your weekend.